Act 1, Take 1, Action.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Post Production with Airren and Frank. We just came back from seeing Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Shafty,
Shafty.
who also directed um,
Uncut
Uncut
Gems.
Gems.
There you
Uncut Gems. So the synopsis of the film: Marty Supreme, or Marty Mauser, is a top-notch table tennis athlete, also known as ping pong. He is a grinder. He really wants to be the best in the sport. He's preparing to go to a tournament and dominate, but there are hiccups throughout his journey. And yeah, it's just about him trying to get to that number one spot. Yeah.
Well done. Brilliant. Brilliant first brief synopsis. Yeah. Let's just think about how it started out. I really liked how it just kind of abruptly begins. I thought there was going to be like a montage because it's music, he's in the back of the shoe store, and then it's just like, all right, he's helping a customer. And then we get introduced to Odessa's character, whose name is escaping me. But yeah, I liked how it started out. I liked how we get introduced to him. He's clearly this ambitious character who wants to accomplish more than what he already has. He's presented this, promotion that his uncle sees it as a promotion. He sees it as, it's just whatever to become the manager at the shoe store that he's working at. But he doesn't want to be a shoe salesman. He wants to be a star table tennis player. So I do like how it kind of jumps right in. You get thrown right into who this guy is. He's very ignorant and arrogant. He really wants to accomplish something, but he also seems like he kind of lacks a lot of real world experience, which makes him this asshole as opposed to somebody who you really want to root for. That's at least what I saw
Yeah.
in the very beginning.
He is helping a woman out, and I think he lied to her about the size of the shoe because he was just trying to sell the shoe.
Yeah.
He didn't have it. She wanted a 9.5.
Mhm.
He gave her an 8.5 and tried to sell it to
He
her.
was really trying to get her to fit into a shoe size that did not work at all.
And that's why his uncle was promoting him, because he was like, you know how to sell a shoe.
Mhm.
Like, you're good at it. He's like, I'm
Right.
not a shoe salesman. I am a ping pong player.
Which,
and I'm the
well,
best.
going off of what you were saying, you mentioned him being a master manipulator.
Yes.
He
is a
does really work well
con
with
man. He's a weasel, very slimy character.
Yeah.
Does whatever he has to do to get whatever he needs. And that's like, he just does creepy, shady stuff throughout the entirety of the film. Back in the shoe store in the beginning, there is a sex scene. He is having sex with who you think is his girlfriend. In between that, the end of that, and the title card,
Mm-hmm.
they showed sperm flowing through and like linking up with an egg.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of made me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know why.
In the moment, it was kind of confusing why, but it eventually makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in the end, but because I understand how anatomy works, but like it was just weird.
Yeah, I had
makes
no
sense.
idea where they were going with it
Yeah.
in the moment. Obviously, there's at the end, it does kind of tie it up. I guess it's up for interpretation.
I mean, I get that he got her pregnant from that. I don't know. It was a little weird.
It was pretty. In the moment, I remember like watching it and just being like, why are they showing this?
Yeah.
But it does make sense in the end. It was going into it, I thought it was going to be a actual kind of success story about this person. It's not a real person, but it's inspired by like a real famous table tennis player from the 40s and 50s. But it was really just the story of all of the chaotic and stupid decisions that this person was making in the process of becoming successful. And he was just walking all over so many people. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, his closest friends, his lovers.
Yeah. And like,
it was insane.
The guy who said that him and his dad believe in him, Dion, when he's talking to him early on, he's like, yeah, we believe in you. That's why we're helping you out with like making sure that the orange ball is actually a thing. There was packaging, there was a design. It was,
and like, this is jumping forward, but he gets it done. But that could have just been Marty having the right words to say, manipulating
easily
the people around him. After that, he is on his way to England to the championship.
The British Open, British
Yeah.
Championship.
Yep, for ping pong.
Right.
It's this massive tournament. All the best players are there. He arrives and the conditions are horrible. You got
Yeah.
dudes sleeping in bunk beds in like a tight concrete facility. And these are like top athletes in their game. But this is in the 1950s, so like they're not treated how they would be treated today.
Right.
But yeah, the conditions are just horrible.
And he was like, oh, he goes up to like the organizer of the tournament essentially. He's like, where are you staying at? And it's like, excuse me. And Marty's like, yeah, I'm just like, the conditions here are terrible. And the guy's like, as far as I know, you're the only person that said anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck do you want? Like, he was a complete jackass. And he finds his way at the Ritz. He was like, going back to what I said about real world experiences, there was a very underrated scene that kind of, if you don't like pay enough attention, could get lost. The guy that he's competing with at the British Open, he was in Auschwitz.
Oh yes.
He was the bomb diffuser. That guy, when they're competing, they understand that they're kind of putting on a show. They know each other, you know. He was at the table with Marty when they're having dinner. And this is when you get introduced to Gwyneth Paltrow and Kevin O'Leary's characters. You see them in passing prior to this scene, but this is when you really get introduced to them. There's a cool story, or kind of creepy story, but just, you know, depending on how you look at it, of this guy that Marty was playing against, talking about how when he used to defuse bombs to aid the German soldiers, he one day came across a honeybee nest, and he smoked out the bees, brought the honey back to the camp, and he literally let every single person in the entire camp lick honey off of him because they're malnourished and tortured, living like animals in just an absolutely disgusting concentration camp. He did that for everyone there. And it was like interesting to hear that story after Marty, being such an arrogant piece of shit when he's being interviewed, saying, "Oh, I'm Hitler's
worst nightmare
because I'm
greatest
like
failure.
a greatest failure because
Yeah.
like I'm here." And it's like, actually, you're this 23-year-old kid from New York who, you know, knows struggle in your own way, but not nearly the struggle that the man that's sitting across from you has. And you're being this cocky asshole and be like, oh, tell him about that story.
Yeah.
And he tells him the story about this just insane act of selflessness.
Okay, see,
And it's like, okay, then there's this selfish asshole who's using anyone around him to accomplish his goals.
I'm glad you pieced that together because
Like-
I didn't understand the significance of the story. I thought,
Well, who knows what the significance was? That's just how I saw it. It's just like,
I
that
think
was
you're
so
right.
crazy to me that this guy let people lick him. Like he let people, many people, like honey off of him.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And it was like literally because they were starving and being treated like cattle. Less than that. It's like, holy fuck.
But no, I think
that's outrageous.
I think you're right because he was working with the Nazis. Obviously, he was Jewish. He didn't want to be doing that, but he was thinking about the people around him.
He certainly didn't have a say.
And Marty was just using everybody around him for his own gain.
Yeah. The woman that he quite literally impregnated within the first 20 minutes of the movie, he was treating like a piece of shit. And she still kept coming back.
Yes.
That was kind of crazy. They were made for each other. I'm gonna be honest.
100%.
Yeah. She was, I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. She was treated like trash. Not gonna excuse anything that happened to her, but like she was also pretty crazy. She was driving through that cornfield, getting shot at with a shotgun, smiling. She's 8 months pregnant at the time. Like she keeps coming back to help him towards the end of the film when she's in the car, and he finally gets the money. And she's like, "Do you have enough? You have enough to go on your trip now?" It's like, oh my god, you are still supporting him? You are a trooper. That is insane. He was a jackass.
So back in the hotel in the Ritz, he sees Gwyneth Paltrow's character, and he is like in love.
Yeah.
He ends up calling her room from his room, and he's just trying to talk to her because he's intrigued, and he invites her to the tournament, and it's him and the British guy playing. The British guy's getting cooked. He knows he's losing.
I have no idea if he was British or not.
I mean, he had an accent.
He didn't sound British.
He had an accent of some kind, folks.
Not sure if he was British though.
But yeah, he's getting cooked. He's friends with Marty. And then Marty says, "Let's have some fun with this game point or with this match point." And that's when they start doing all the tricks, like hitting the ball under the legs. The ball comes up to his face. He keeps it in the air by blowing on it and then hits it. It goes out of the stadium. Marty's jumping. The other guy's doing the same thing. So they're having fun. That was really cool to see.
I liked how they kind of showed other people's perspective of not necessarily greatness, but like success, and just, the guy at the shoe store really wanted to be manager. Marty wanted to be the best friggin' table tennis player in the world. So it was just a lot of different people were shown striving for different things. Gwyneth Paltrow's character wanting to be a respected actress.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that he straight up robs his coworker just to get to the
I
tournament.
mean, yeah,
he points
robs him, but he's pointing a gun at him, and
Yes.
the coworker's like, "Come on now, I know you're not gonna fucking shoot me." He's just like, he's staging a robbery. But yeah, he was like pulling a gun out of the drawer. It's like, give me the money so I can go on this trip. He was just a complete.
Yeah, he
jackass.
did. He was like, "This is the guy's on his trip. He owes me money. He said he was gonna give it to me, so he just like forcefully takes the money."
Yeah, I really liked Wally and Marty's relationship. Tyler, the creator, very, very good performance.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him to be that good of an actor.
Did you know he was in the movie?
I knew he was going to be in the movie. I didn't think he was going to really hold up his end like that. Like, he was really working well on the same stage as Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I
He was
honestly
up for
wanted to see
best
more of him.
friggin' actor in the leading role. So, and then the guy that I was telling you about that was on Side Talk that said Trae Young looks like my dad's dick. That guy was good too. Dion. He was holding his own, acting with Odessa and
His
Timothy
name
Chalamet.
is-
I honestly don't even know if that's how it's pronounced. I'm gonna be
His
completely
name
honest.
is Luke Manley.
Odessa? Oh yeah, he was good. The casting was really good. I liked how everybody performed.
Kevin Leary did a good job too.
Yes, Kevin O'Leary did a very good job. I could not watch that man do anything without laughing, especially when he looked at Marty and was like, "Get in the car." And then as he was going around to get in the car, he's like, "All right, drive." He was just such a jackass. Clearly himself, he's playing a rich man.
Yeah, there's a clip online of him talking about the movie, and he said they're filming the scene, and he's like, "All right, I think we did a great job."
Yes.
He's used to being the boss,
I
and
saw
the
the same
director's like,
thing.
"No, we're not done until I say I'm done." And
Yeah.
he said he just wasn't used to not being in the lead position.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
Going off of that, Josh Safdie really redeemed himself here. I was not a huge fan of Uncut Gems because of the chaos, and just like wasn't really my type of film. And this was just so different though. Like, same type of chaos vibe. It's just a story of how this man just did whatever the heck he could to succeed. And I think they nailed it. The dialogue being as chaotic as it was, every scene with people talking to one another.
Yes.
I don't know how they wrote it or even like rehearsed that. It seemed like it was just entirely improvised.
Before we get into that, I just want to talk about those final 3 games in the original tournament. Marty Supreme gets to the final game. He loses all 3 games to Koto Endo, who is played by Koto Kawaguchi. It's like not even close. He's not used to the Japanese playing style because they have like a different paddle and a different serving method. He's super confident he's gonna win. I think he says he's gonna drop a 3rd atomic bomb on them.
Outrageous.
And
how
then-
many like horrible things that he said to people
Yeah.
involving like World War II.
And then he loses, and he has to come back to America, and this is when the chaos begins.
Act 2, Take 1, Action.
Every decision the man was making to try and get back to any level close to what he wanted to be at, just he's with Wally, they're hustling people at a bowling alley, which leads to Wally being negatively affected by Marty's fucking shenanigans. And then Rachel, just everything about that goes without saying. But it's also worth noting that Rachel herself was pretty nuts. She was very, very in love with this man, you could see, because there was a lot of things that he did to her that were just deplorable, and she just kept coming back.
Yeah.
And she seemed like she was enjoying herself, enjoying how crazy and chaotic it was. But yeah, like I couldn't believe how in denial he was about the fact that that kid was clearly his, saying just awful things to her when she was like, I've literally been trying to contact you for 8 months.
Yep.
Just awful things.
Yeah, he's in Europe touring different countries for 8 months. He gets her pregnant right before he leaves, comes back, she's 8 months pregnant, and then he notices and he's like, "What do you want me to say?" And she's like, "What do you mean? What do you want me to say?"
Oof.
Or like, it's just insane. And then he's like, my jaw dropped when he said this. You mentioned it earlier, but he was like, "That's not my baby," because I pull out.
Speechless.
I was like, "Oh my god,
It's
this
like,
guy's a
I understand
monster."
you're 23 years old, but like, grow the fuck up.
It was insane.
Like, you're talking to this woman like this, like, what is this, the group chat? This is ridiculous.
Like, I got that he was a scammer, con man, slimy dude, but he is a monster.
Yeah, and it's Rachel's husband, who in some situations is shown as this asshole. He was being lied to the whole time.
Yeah.
It was revealed that he actually never hit her, and then boom, he gets beaten over the fucking head with a trophy because
A
Marty,
solid bronze trophy.
yeah, and then
she dead.
Yeah, and then she walks into the room while he's sleeping and says, "Hey, wake up. This baby's not yours." And he just, I mean, he doesn't even hit her then. He just like loses his mind, obviously.
Destroys his apartment.
Right.
She's standing there, not crying. We've seen her cry for other stuff.
Right.
But she's not crying. She's just like telling the people in the building, because they're all lined up outside the door.
It's like, everything's all right.
She's like, "I'm okay. Go back to bed." You're a monster too.
Yeah.
You got this guy could have died because you faked a black eye that we find out about later.
Right.
It's really makeup. That's when I realized that she was a monster too.
Yeah.
Because that's insane.
Because you see very quickly some pretty awful things happen to this woman, and it's like, whoa, he is a piece of shit. And then it's like, wait a minute, why are you still here? But it's like, what? You're out in the sticks, getting shot at, laughing as you're driving through a cornfield.
I thought that was because she was being manipulated by him. And I think partly it was true. That
is very true.
She is him also. Like, she is also Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
But just like two different sides of the same coin.
Oh, but then he's like, "I have a purpose, you don't." It's like, damn.
Yes, dude.
Chill.
That
was
insane.
that is the meanest thing you could say to somebody. Yes. She's just shook when he says that. It's
okay,
like, my God.
So context, folks. She gets kicked out, or no, she shows up to Marty with a black eye, which is fake, and she goes to this like underground ping pong club. It's just like a boxing gym almost, but it's just ping pong tables, and she's sleeping on the couch. And Marty goes there because he needs to sleep on the couch. He just ran away from the cops, so he can't go home. And he's like, "All right, we're going to go stay at my best friend's house." He gets there. He opens his door, lets her stay there, and she's there for weeks. It was supposed to be a day. It has to be weeks. And
it was a long time.
They start arguing later because he finds out she's lied about the black eye, and his friend kicks them out. They're in the lobby, and he goes, "We need to get one thing straight. I have a purpose in life. You don't. Every shitty thing that's happening to you is a result of your stupid actions, but everything that's happening to me is like carefully thought and planned out. So I don't know what
And
you're
this
gonna
was
do.
after the living situation that he forced Dion to provide her
Yes.
was taken away because of, once again, his stupidity
Yes.
and him being like a jackass who thought that he was entitled to anything. Like, I gotta be honest with you, at no point in this entire movie was I rooting for him. I was like, that there's no way that you are gonna like truly do exactly what you want to do. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, who knows? I guess depends on who you ask, but it's just throughout I was like, I don't even want to root for this guy. He's
Yeah.
such an asshole. It's just so ridiculous. But it was very exciting. I really respect the casting from Josh Safdie because I never in my life thought I would see Kevin O'Leary in a movie like that and do that well.
Hmm.
I never thought I'd see Tyler the Creator in a movie like that and do exceptionally well. So it's tough to say anything bad about this movie. It's
Yeah.
like very well written, cinematography is great, and the progression of the story was pretty good because, after all of this chaos ensues, there's another match that Marty has to partake in against the same person that beat him at the British Open.
Yes. Koto Endo.
Yeah, and
Um, I'm glad you brought that up
it's
because
like a staged thing to help with Kevin O'Leary's brand rather than help with Marty Supreme's reputation. And he's presented with the choice, like, do I do this and like do it somebody else's way, or am I gonna try and sabotage it and do it my way?
yeah. So you said that you liked the progression of the movie and how everything played out, and I do agree with you because I went into this movie thinking it was going to be a ping pong success story, and in a way it kind of was, but the first act of the movie was like strictly ping pong. He's going to be great. He's going to be the best. And then the second act is just straight up chaos and like just his story.
Like
And
whatever
then
it took to
yeah.
get back to being anywhere close to accomplishing the same goal again. And it took he had to go to lengths that I did not expect. Let
Mhm.
rest assured.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't think they were going to get back to the ping pong at all. But then the third act is like him getting to that point that he wants to be at. So throughout the movie, he has this fling with Kevin O'Leary's wife, played by Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think Kay Stone is her name.
Hmm. He's hooking up with her behind Kevin O'Leary's back, but he's also trying to get in with Kevin O'Leary because he knows that he is funding this tournament, this exhibition tournament in Japan where ping pong is huge. And he initially offers Marty a spot in the tournament to go against Koto Endo, and he turns it down because he wasn't getting paid enough because he has a massive ego, and then he comes begging for the spot back
Well, it was
several
also because he
times.
wanted him to lose.
Yes, but this is before he found out that it was a staged event.
Right.
Um, and he like comes begging for a spot back because he just wants his shot again. It's like this is a staged event. You're gonna lose 21-14, and the only way you can go is if you let me humiliate you in front of all my friends. And he does it. He's like, okay. He says, bend over. No, go to my office, get the paddle, come back, bend over, pull your pants down, and I'm gonna spank you in front of everybody.
And he was like, "Yep."
He's
To
like,
be
yeah.
honest with you, if I had already fucked the man's wife twice, I'd be like, "Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
You have no idea I fucked your wife twice, so sure you can spank me and think that you're establishing dominance, but you're really not. So
Yep.
go ahead, do what you want." It would still suck though. It looked like it hurt.
So he gets a spot, makes it to Japan, and he loses. Like it plays out exactly how it's supposed to play out. And he made a deal that the loser of the game has to kiss a pig. And it gets to the point where it's time for him to kiss the pig in front of everybody, and he just cannot do it. His ego
Yep.
is massive. He cannot do it.
He gets tremendous help from one man in particular from the crowd
Mm-hmm.
about how he wants to declare a real game, and he gets the entire crowd to like chant it. He helped so much.
Yeah.
That was like that truly helped like tremendously.
So he kind of hijacks the event and is
Yeah.
like, "This was a staged event. I want a real game. Let's do the real game and show him who's really the best." He gets everybody on board. Kevin O'Leary is pissed
Right.
because his company is like on the line, kind of. His reputation's on the line, but Marty's reputation is also on the line. Like, if he kisses his pig, that's it. Because before he was doing halftime shows for the Harlem Globetrotters,
Right.
playing ping pong against a seal.
Which, going back to briefly the perspective of success, the one guy that was diffusing bombs for the Germans when he was at a concentration camp, he was like, "We'll live like kings if we work with the Harlem Globetrotters." And Marty obviously is like, "Nah, I don't want to do that shit
He's
at
like,
all."
"That is beneath me."
Yeah, and he ends up doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, he takes a real ego blow there, but he loses in that scripted event, and then he finally gets to play against Kodo Endo.
Yep.
And this is a real nail biter because they're going
I
point for
literally
point.
leaned towards you and I was like, "This is so hype." I
Yeah.
was watching two men play ping pong, and I could not believe how, like, I was literally on the edge of my seat. It was so wild.
I leaned over to you and I was like, he's gonna lose.
Mhm.
Like, this is like he's doing all this just to get cooked again.
Right.
They go point for point. Kodo Endo, he has to win by 1. And then Marty gets a point, so now it's 2020, but you got to win by 2. Before that, Kevin O'Leary comes up to him. He's like, "If you do this, you will be stuck here. You're not coming back with me."
He's like, "All right." He's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, Mr. Rockwell," while he's giggling.
Yeah, he says, "I'm a vampire. I've lived forever. I've
Which
known
you know what?
hundreds of
He
Martys."
probably has. Real life version of him. Absolutely. Mr. Wonderful has been around for thousands of years. I guarantee it.
Yeah, so he wins.
Yep.
Biggest
Yep.
biggest moment in his life,
Mm-hmm.
and he wishes Kodo Endo good luck in the tournament, which is like in a week. The actual ping pong tournament, which is in a week.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I hope you win." And that made me think that he had a switch flip in his head, like, because we were talking about this earlier. Was he just so driven to get that one thing that he needed to be an asshole to get to that point?
But I
And
don't.
then he switches.
He wasn't going after that one thing, but he was just striving for whatever it was that he thought was the pinnacle
the
of his
necessary
success.
step.
Right.
Because
So-
he's stealing.
Right. It could have been, if he had simply won at the British Open or whatever, that could have been the thing that made him just like, "Okay, I've done what I need to do. Now I'm going to go home and raise my, child." But that didn't happen. So he went through so much crazy shit
Mm-hmm.
between that and then this, that I think it was like, it became more of just his shot at redemption rather than him becoming the greatest ever.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so overcome with emotion after actually beating the guy that beat him, and which led to him just feeling humiliated for so long and having to do the most ridiculous shit to get anywhere close to the level that he wanted to be at again. So, and which leads to the end that I thought was a little weird when I was first seeing it, but then once we were talking about it when we left the theater, I appreciated it a little bit more. He goes back home and he sees Rachel. She's had the baby's in the nursery, and they show the child to Marty. He's just crying, he's losing it. He's just seems like he's so happy, which is interesting for me, at least watching it, because he just seemed like such an arrogant asshole. I thought all he cared about was table tennis, because the kid didn't really matter much until that moment. But then he sees the kid and it's just a whole different person. The way I interpreted the ending was, he had gotten back to a level that he probably didn't even think was possible with his aspirations and what he wanted to do within the world of table tennis. And once he did it, it was like he can finally rest, at least, for now. And he's appreciating so many other things now, while I think he should have cared a little bit earlier, seeing the child born and really seeing how beautiful it is, like this part of life. He was taken back by all the emotions and truly broke down. I kind of saw it as him just truly seeing more in life after he had finally redeemed himself. Because up until that point, there was a lot of things happening around him that it just didn't even register. But in that moment, he became a different person.
I do think you are partially right, but just knowing the character from that entire movie, I think he might just be like a sociopath
No, for sure.
or a psychopath or
It's
something.
it could be. I could see it being seen as a pretty weak ending by the majority of viewers. I'm just trying desperately to like find a different interpretation because I was kind of like thinking that it ended
'Cause it
pretty
was-
abruptly and
yeah.
weirdly compared to the rest of the tone of the film.
I don't think it's bad, but if what you said about him appreciating actual life instead of the chase, if that's correct, I think it's great. But if it's not, and he is just an insane person, I think it's fitting to the character. So like, we might be giving a little bit more credit to the writers, or I'm not sure. So I mean, I'll have to think about it a little bit more. But it was a very abrupt ending.
Yeah. It was odd how we went from just a very impactful scene for the main character to just the film ending with him appreciating a child that he seemed to just completely ignore throughout the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Who he didn't even claim was his.
yeah. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is my sister. You can just stay here with my friend Dion." Very weird.
Mm.
Act 3, take 1, action.
All right, I'll start it off. Absolute hits. I would have to put the cinematography up there. I really liked how this movie looked. It definitely captured the 50s vibe that it needed to. As far as the cinematography, I will say, not to just so quickly go into it, the music was a bit of a miss. I didn't really know what vibe they were going for. It felt like I was watching some like 80s film. You made the comparison between like a weekend song, and then I was like, it felt like a Stranger Things soundtrack. It was a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Very A24, but like this is a movie about some guy playing ping pong in the 50s. It was a little bit of a like confusing choice.
Mm-hmm.
But not to go too far to the left. Yeah, cinematography was a hit for me. Casting, also a hit for me. People who I really didn't think were going to deliver absolutely did. The story was a hit because it was a nice surprise to go into it and find out that, oh, I'm really not just going to watch some movie that I've seen 100 times about some person coming from the gutter and achieving success. It was like, you're not going to see that part. What you're going to see for the next 2.5 hours is going to be just how insane this man had to be to get anywhere close to achieving his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool, like, you just see a little snippet of what was most likely a very long journey for him.
Yeah.
I did really like that. And oh, one thing that I really thought was a hit, just adding to the peak chaos, the very random bit of the guy with the dog,
Mm-hmm.
him coming up as much as he did, like
the subplot.
they obtain cash through him initially because they're supposed to be bringing the dog to the vet, which leads to the hustling. They're supposed to be helping him go find the dog, but it actually results in him and his right hand man being fucking shot in the face. And then they get the cash that they need, and then they flee the scene with the car. It's like, it was kind of funny how that guy, anytime he showed up, it was like they were really gonna either die or obtain whatever they needed to really move on to the next step of the process.
Mm-hmm.
So for my final hit, I really liked that little subplot. That guy was so weird and funny anytime he was talking, and then he turned out to be pretty fucking aggressive and gross.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
Absolute hit for me. The pacing of the movie. This movie is nonstop.
yeah.
There's not a single moment of downtime.
It seems to be Josh Safdie's like thing.
Dude, it just, there's always something happening. He's running from somebody. The hotel floor collapses.
That scene was crazy.
He's setting a gas station on fire. It's insane. The whole movie is just insane.
Yeah.
Um,
I found myself laughing because it was like I truly didn't think that
yeah.
the negative consequences that I was seeing before my eyes were actually going to be depicted in this film.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie about ping pong. Why are we running into a front entranceway of a ranch house or whatever the hell that was and knocking over all the pillars?
Hmm.
Why are we knocking over a telephone wire, setting fire to an entire gas station?
Yeah.
People getting shot at left and right.
Like, pacing was awesome. The writing was awesome.
mm-hmm.
Like, there were scenes where multiple people are arguing at the same time. I felt like I was in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to listen to everybody. I'm trying to listen to Marty because he's the main character, but he's arguing too. So there's just so much going on. That that was crazy. I like the editing because right after the tournament, they show that clip of that's in Japanese with the subtitles. I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the movie. I love that part. So yeah, the editing was awesome. The ping pong games were awesome. The music was very fitting for the scene because it's chaotic and fast paced, but it, the movie takes place in the 50s and these are all 80s music.
Which scene?
Any scene, like the beginning scene, the credits,
it was
the
I don't know,
synthesizers and stuff, the rhythm of the music, the BPM of each song.
Okay,
it's just like
sure.
It's driving.
Yeah, driving the energy and everything.
Yeah, the energy of the movie. Like, but
I do see that
they're all out of place. Like this music does not belong in this time period.
I'll say another miss. It's kind of weird, I'm gonna say it, that the orange ball thing kind of just lost its way.
Mm-hmm.
It's introduced in the beginning. They pitch the idea, they being Marty and Dion. Dion does everything he needs to do to get it to be a thing. And it's maybe that's what it is. It's just like him being such a chaotic piece of shit, not planning anything. You know, oh yeah, they have everything they need to do to accomplish it. But since he's out doing whatever the hell he wants to, not really thinking about anybody else other than himself, maybe that was part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I would have liked a little bit more attention on the orange balls that they did so much for marketing, but they were about in the movie for about 20 minutes.
It was in like all the marketing stuff,
right?
Like it was in the trailer. I remember that he wore orange. He had the dudes with the ping pong balls.
Yeah. Like, I'm not entirely disappointed that it wasn't, but I was entirely thinking that it was going to be a big part of the story.
I was telling you, I thought this movie was going to be a success story. Like, I thought he was going to be this really talented ping pong player, and he pitches this brand of Marty Supreme.
Right.
But yeah, just it's completely different story. Completely subverted my expectations.
Real quick before we get into the ratings, final answer: do you think he's winning this? You think he's winning Best Actor in a leading role?
I think he could. So this movie's nominated for 9 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor.
I'm not sure if any of the, and we've both seen, we're not going to review it, unfortunately. We've both seen Sinners, though. I think that Michael B. Jordan was better. I think that Wagner Moura was even better. I most certainly think that Leonardo DiCaprio was better. I can't speak for Ethan Hawke. I haven't seen that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not unimpressed with how well he did, but it's just a matter of who else in the category this year did better than he did.
Yeah, I
think that it should be Leonardo DiCaprio. I really do.
I think he did better than Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, I don't know how to describe it because Leo was just a dad.
Leo was a dad, but he was
like an ex-terrorist or like freedom fighter.
He's like an anti-fascist freedom fighter who's completely living off the grid with his daughter, who is actually not his daughter. I liked how he's completely trying his hardest to get back to actually being part of that resistance. He's I mean, we're getting off track. But yeah, I think he could definitely do it. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens.
As for Best Director and Best Picture, they could probably win both of those.
I don't know about Best Picture. Best Director.
Maybe not Best Director, but
I would say that was a very well directed production. I thought that movie was very complete. I didn't really notice any cracks in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he did a really good job making that come to life. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it.
Yeah.
But then again, I really need to look over who else is nominated for things.
All right. What would you rate this movie?
Definitely giving it a pristine.
Mm-hmm.
Loved the experience. I will give it a 4.4.
Less than F1.
Only because of what we talked about with, like rewatching and everything.
Okay.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't think many people will agree with my mindset, but at the end of the day, it is my mindset. I don't know how many more times I'm gonna want to watch a movie like Marty Supreme, but my goodness, that was a very well put together film, and
Yeah.
4.4 is very good. Timothy Chalamet, job well done. Odessa Azion, whatever.
Yeah.
Job well done as well. She was very good. Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin O'Leary, very solid performances as
Luke
well.
Manley.
Yeah, I think literally everybody that had even 30 seconds of screen time in that movie did really well.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this movie a top notch. Definitely an experience. Chaotic, adrenaline pumping experience. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Everything positive I said about a great story, great pacing. I would give this probably a 4.6. It does not have much rewatchability. It has shock value.
I think it has. Since you just brought up F1, I don't think it has more rewatchability than that movie.
No, no.
In general, this movie has rewatchability, in my opinion. I would definitely show this movie to somebody. I would definitely like recommend this to other people. I would want to watch this again.
Yeah, but this is like
I compare it to that,
anxiety inducing.
Yes, for sure.
F1 is like thrilling, like it gives you thrill.
Yeah, and it's mostly for you to feel good and just have fun. So, but yeah, it's tough to compare two movies that are nothing like each other.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Post Production. We'll be back again, most likely with another Best Picture nominee leading up to the Oscars. Hopefully, we will cross off most of them on our list, if not all. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
And